hello, and I guess welcome back to Fall of Atlantis, RPG Maker VX Ace. It has been, about 2 months now since I posted any videos on this. I took a little hiatus from it for a while. Didn't really open up the program very much. Tried to, I guess, work on the story a little bit and refine some ideas there. Came up with some, I think, some decent things that I'm trying to implement, but the biggest problem I'm running into is I have too many ideas and not enough skill or talent, or time or dedication, I guess, to actually even learn how to implement all of them. So the break was actually kind of helpful for me. It allowed me to kind of step back from the game and realize, I guess I was looking at the whole picture of the game, and stepping back from it made it easier to kind of focus on some of the smaller things and not feel so overwhelmed. There has been a few changes since the last video, and in this video I do plan to do... I will probably have a time to do some editing, and to show you guys how to set up a few things, or at least just set up a few things anyways, even if I'm not actually teaching you guys anything. But what I want to do now, because I've been working on it for a while tonight, I want to actually test this and see how everything turns out. And I'll also show you guys some of the changes that I've made. I don't need fraps running. I'm not going to use that. You can see I changed the size of the window. This will probably be the final resolution for the game window, 640 by 480. I believe that is the largest you can make an RPG Maker game. I haven't found any other way to make a larger window than that. You can also go full screen, of course, but I don't really feel like it. So we'll just start a new game here. I think you guys have already seen this kind of changed intro. I changed a lot of things behind the scenes again, trying to clean things up, free up switches, not make things so complicated, because I think I've already mentioned it too in the last video, that all of that learning that I was doing in the beginning was extremely helpful, but holy hell, it made the game a lot more messy than it needed to be, and editing and adding new things to scenes in the beginning here was far harder than it needed to be. I've hopefully made it a little bit easier. So yeah, the dialogue I haven't really focused on at all, because that's going to be one of the things that I continue to edit and polish and go over. So yeah, Norns woke up, tried to expand to this cutscene a little bit, just to give a little bit, some more life to the characters. So, Norn's thawing out, stretching out. Dennis goes back, gets supplies. This is where Norn, you learn a bit about him, you can name him. And, yeah. Just story and stuff. Dennis will keep moving there, even if you don't. Yeah, he'll just keep moving until he gets to the very last locker. I may change that, though, so that he stops at this locker right here, because I really don't like how the next cutscene looks if he is at this locker here, because the team will move down, like, you'll see. It looks better right here, and the scene's entirely dependent upon when you talk to Dennis. So if you're really quick, you could probably talk to him at this locker, but I doubt you could get him at that locker. I'll have to do a speed test and see how much you can break the game. So yeah, they talk, they gather everything, they've got all the supplies they need, and as they try to leave the room... Oh no, the AI found us. I've done a little bit of balancing. You can see Norn's health is 75. I've been doing just like... I spent maybe 10 minutes looking over some stats and just messing around with them. I still don't know how to make it so that my characters don't face really weird directions after the combat, because these aren't... It's difficult. I'll figure something out, I'm sure. I'm not going to really go over it. But it's kind of difficult to control the characters at that point in the event, because they're still kind of being handled by the combat script. So yeah, still can't leave the room, but I think one thing I was going to talk about with the skills, I'm not good at math. So setting up a really advanced combat system with a bunch of varied numbers and trying to balance everything is not going to be something that happens in this game. I'm going to most likely try to use an Earthbound simplified system, I want to say, where Earthbound didn't really have huge combat numbers. You weren't stacking attack into the hundreds or into the thousands. Your attack grew very slowly, sometimes just by, a weapon upgrade would be a 20 to 15 to 30 point upgrade, and by the end of the game you didn't have more than 200 or 300 attack. You didn't have more than 1,000 health. I'm going to try to balance everything around really small numbers because that will make it easier for me to work with. So maximum health in this game is going to be 999, and maximum magic will be 99, kind of like a Chrono Trigger setup again. This is something new. Again, I'm trying to kind of flesh out the maps, add a little bit more distance between some of the events. I hate saying like little grind areas, but this is a part of RPGs, little dungeons to go through, monsters to encounter. This will be the first time you enter the vents, and there's combat up here. I probably won't have a treasure chest or anything up here. I haven't really decided yet. But yeah, these will be the first monsters that you can encounter. Yay, everyone levels up. And yay, they didn't poison us. And I'll have little treasures. I don't know why I can't walk through that tile, but okay. But I'll have little treasures on dead ends, to reward the player for exploring. If you don't know this about video games, they are a very manipulative thing. And the game will program you by placing chests down dead ends to reward you. One of the things I'm also going to look into doing, in paths that the player is going to be walking through multiple times, in order to make it so that the player doesn't have to, manually navigate through this section every time, I may make it so that there's a drop down like this. So the player can just run into the vent, hit that drop down, and they bypassed an entire level here. But if you don't take that drop down, you can explore this little place. I'll have an encounter here. If you enter the room, some monsters will pop up out of the darkness there. Bats or something. I'll probably have a little room right here that you can enter. There'll be combat and supplies in there. And if you don't drop down the hole over there, which is right there, this is where it leads. And yeah, I may not have that hole accessible at first. I may make it so that you have to get some tools to cut wire, and then you can cut a few things. I don't know, though. I don't know if I want to open that up. I may just have that hole always there. And yeah, this is supposed to signify, showing, hopefully it looks like it, but you're actually descending down into the air ducts underneath the rooms. So then they'll come out through here. And yeah, more character dialogue. Of course, Norin doesn't know what's going on at this point. I still don't have all of my switches set up correctly. Let's see. Yeah, turn that off. I've copied and pasted a lot of the monster encounters. So, there's a lot of monsters that right now run on switch 26, and I need to set them up on different switches. And set it up so that whenever you leave a room, that the switch is turned off, that way the monsters respawn. And I can have some encounters where once you beat them, the switch is permanently on, so the monsters never show up again. I'll have special encounters like that. It'll be a rare monster that you can only kill once, and it'll give you a bunch of experience or skill points or something. And I'll have them scattered around throughout the game. So yeah, still got all this going on. Another reason I took a break, whenever I got my new computer, and I transferred my hard drives over, this RPG Maker had a real tough time. I mean, I had to reinstall RPG Maker because it just didn't work without being reinstalled and having some of the registry keys updated, I guess. But I did something really stupid. I didn't back up my RPG Maker folder, so I actually overwrote a few tiles. And I was having game crashes and maps weren't looking right, but I fixed that. A mistake on my part. And that kind of killed some of my enthusiasm. So yeah, still deciding how I want this outdoor area to look. I got rid of that little cave to the north there. I'll have people wandering around out here. Some of the people that you rescued throughout the story, the survivors that aren't really important, will be out here. Might even have some type of bazaar setup or shopping thing, I don't know yet. And yeah, the safe room. Another reason I didn't want to record is because a lot of the stuff you guys have already seen like 12 times now. But I want to make sure that everything I've set up is actually working correctly. So you'll be able to come in here. This will be the first place that you can save the game. You'll be able to save here. I'll probably have an AI tell you about what this does and how to use it. I hate having little tutorials like that, but it won't be anything forced. It won't be a tutorial that you have to go through. And there'll be a bed that you can use to rest. I'll probably have Emma tell you that if you talk to her or something. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time explaining things to players, because at this point, I guess, you know, at this point in video game history, there's probably not a whole lot of new people out there who are going to be entering the genre of this video game and not understand things like save points and resting in beds. So I don't want to spend a whole lot of time holding the player's hand and explaining those things. Yeah, and you can talk to people and everything like that. But what I want to do is, of course, get the quest notification here to go look for the missing engineer, which will gain us access once more to the cryo room 314, and then to the main hallways. And I do have some new things out there to show you guys. So I did change this engineer setup a little bit. If you remember, at one point I was bitching about having to make a one tile wide pathway in order to trigger the event, and I hate having one tile wide pathways in the middle of a room for no reason, because it just screams to the player after enough time that, hey, there's a cutscene coming up. But now if you walk along this path at all, it will trigger the cutscene, and then all of these other events will automatically be shut off, so you can't re-trigger it. So yeah, the engineer yells at you to help. Wherever the monsters are is where you fight them. They just walk back and forth in front of the engineer. So yeah, the engineer rejoins you after you talk to him. There we go. Lost by chance? Yeah, blah 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 blah. And again, you don't have to go back to the... for some reason I keep forgetting what I'm calling it. You don't have to go back to the safe room in order to progress the plot. You can just go all the way back to room 314 now. I still haven't decided how I'm going to handle that. Like, the engineer might tell you that he'll fix it on his way back or something like that. It'll be more clarified that you can go through here now. Let's see, did these monsters respawn? Yeah, they did. Awesome. Not the most thrilling combat setup, I guess, but it works for me. And I like it a whole lot more than the side view battle. So yeah. Still goofing around on the music too, because I don't really know what I want to use. And got this fight set up. Yeah, if you bump into this guy, some robots drop down, come after you. And there'll be little battles like this scattered all over the place. Yay, we kicked their ass, because we've been leveling up. What do we have? Okay, that's 314. I've got them in the correct numerical order now. 314, 315. There's a little shiny thing here that you can examine. I'm not going to examine it. I leave that for you guys to examine whenever the game comes out. Which, if you haven't heard, it's going to be a year from the day this video is posted. It's always a year away. So, don't have any of those rooms set up yet. Still kind of shaping this hallway. There'll be some encounters here, I'm sure. There'll at least be one, maybe by this stairwell or something. I'd like to have almost one, yeah, about one encounter per map, but almost all of the encounters will be avoidable. If, you, I guess, if you pay attention to the monsters. This is another encounter, another event that you'll go through eventually. Yay! My download's done. Awesome. These events right here with the cultists and stuff will not be triggered until later on in the story. So yeah, you'll be ambushed here. And I'm still using spider sprites for everything. There we go. Just tear them apart. So yeah, they were in here doing something. They were killing this old man is what they were doing. But why? What were they doing to him? Yep. And there's nothing we can do. Still love that sound. And yes, this bathroom does have sinks right here. These aren't urinals or whatever. That's sinks. They might be a little bit low to the ground, but that's where I had to put them. I love that saxophone. So yeah, I kind of spiced up this room a bit. Decided to put a little gaping hole there. Some robots working. If you bump into the robot here that's walking around, it's ambush time. And it's fight time too. I'll probably spice up the battles a little bit more. Like the monsters dropping in, they'll hopefully have sound effects. I'd kind of like to make them a little bit more animated. Because right now they're very robotic in their movements, but that's things I don't know if I'll add. I would like to, but we'll see. This is something else I was testing. This is the largest fight that I can have, that I've been able to actually make work. Whenever I was setting this up, I saw this sprite as this is what gave me the idea for this fight. I was flipping through my sprites that I'm using, and I saw these nuns here, and I instantly had a flashback to Chrono Trigger, to the cathedral. So before you go into the security room, I'll probably have some type of fight out here. Most likely it won't be with these nuns though, because at this point in the game, you're not really facing the cultists. You haven't met them. It's still robots down here. So there'll be some security robots out here patrolling around or something. And they'll be like, halt! I don't think I can escape from this fight. And unfortunately for Emma, she's poisoned. Which means she's dead. Yeah, they don't even disappear. The camera still scrolls. That scene's a bit unfinished. So, this scene I might also change a bit, because I don't know if I want Norrin to be kind of leading right here, or if I want Dennis and Emma to be walking up here. I want to avoid the whole annoying lovers thing with Emma and Dennis. I don't want them to constantly have their heads up each other's asses, so they're not going to be chained to the hip throughout the story. They're going to be doing their own things, but it'll be obvious that, you know, they care about each other. So yeah, it's the first boss, really, right there. Obliterated. That boss fight I'll probably change up too. I don't know what I'll add, but it's not just going to be one little AI thing right there. There'll be more that drop down or something like that. Another cutscene here. And this will be the first time, of course, I think I mentioned, that you see the true enemy of the game. Harlan. The evil mastermind right there. He's got red and purple on, so you know it's serious. Spruced up the hospital a little bit. I don't know if I showed that to you guys before. I hadn't really put anything in there for a while. So yeah. Norrin sees his family being led out of the medical center, his wife and daughter. They offer a little bit of advice here. a little bit of comfort that they'll take care of things. And another cat. If you have forgotten what the cats are, they have little pieces of paper around their neck. Yeah, R.I.P. Emma. So, let's see, what else have I changed? I don't know. Like I said, I took a break from it and didn't really start working on it a lot until just a few days ago. But I think my discouragement is gone with. I can slowly start chipping away at it again. I guess what we could do... I want to check one more thing here. Okay. Yeah, we'll take the shortcut. Whee! I think I'll probably kind of smooth that animation up. He needs to drop quicker. I wouldn't mind it if he bounced on his back or something. I don't think we have any fights coming up, so I can't get through there yet, but because I don't have that trigger set up yet. I need to, because what's going to happen is whenever the engineers cut the wire in the security room, it's actually going to disable the turbines. That might be a little bit of a stretch. I haven't decided yet, but it's not going to be the AI that shuts it down, that shuts the turbines down. It's actually going to be their own incompetence, because the engineers didn't know what they were doing. So the team will think that they're going here to restart the turbines because the AI shut them down, but no. It's nothing that glorious. It is just their own mistakes. That Santa, of course, is up here. We may as well rescue him, because I want to see if he still shows up in that scene. Yeah. No, Emma's dead. Don't you love her dead sprite? Just laying on its side. Oh, come with us, Santa. Yeehaw. And that'll be one of the first special NPCs that you can bring back to the safe room. Haven't decided how many special NPCs there are going to be yet. I know I've mentioned two, Santa and the chef. So, do I have this room hooked up? I do. I don't really have much in this room yet, but I want to see if I can hear this. Shh. Did you hear that? I might need to adjust that a little bit, I don't know. It might need to be a little bit louder. A little bit of foreshadowing there. I'll have to do something to that scene. It'll tie into Emma's journey coming up whenever she goes into the caverns. I don't know what room I'm putting there yet. There'll be some encounter here. The special little areas like this that are kind of flashier than these stale hallways, that's where the majority of fights will happen. So, what do we have here? I'll try to save point because the boss is coming up. I think that I might also add a rest area here, but I don't know how hard I want to make the game. Turbines? Yep. So I'll have a survivor or two here, maybe an engineer, something like that. Got some passability problems. Couldn't walk behind that table. And that's right, the legendary fight. It's X32. Who knows what it'll be called by the end of it. What I do know is that he dies fairly easy. He's going to blow. I need to change that scene so that Norrin doesn't do a little hop there. They no longer jump over the robot, so... No, Dennis and Emma, come back. Damn it. Awesome, this works. The chief engineer, attempting to repair damages across the colony. I hate the name Jaden. I don't know why I used it, but... that's not going to be his permanent name either. So, Yeah, they'll have a little bit of back and forth. Let's see. They do a lot of dialogue. And then Jaden does join, that's right. Everyone will join as a level 1 character. I will punish you that way. Hey, aren't we forgetting something? Yes, we are. You can go to either terminal here. I think I've mentioned that too. They'll be sparkling. And throw the switch. Yay. We can breathe again. They did it. They are heroes. They made it through the vent system. But at what cost? What price did they pay? You'll have to figure out here. So, yes, we can either go to the surface, which I still haven't really bothered to set up. I've got a little bit set up on this, but I need to design a whole new level for the lift and add some more areas to engineering because they're going to be kind of backtracking. This is a new character. I think I've mentioned him. This is Sammy. I don't have his scenario really set up yet, and I don't even know if this is the first time you'll meet him. I might not have a scenario for him at all, but he's going to be a little action star. If you don't know, if you didn't notice, he looks kind of like Solid Snake. So he has a heritage to live up to. He has to be some type of action hero. But we'll follow Emma and Dennis real quick. Oh no. That's a bug that I need to fix. Gosh dang it. So, because Emma is dead and was not healed, game over. Because everyone was removed from the party whenever you used that scenario there, except for her. So, the game put her in the party with 0 health and automatically a game over. Awesome. So, I need to fix that real quick. That's good, that's a bug. That is something that I needed to figure out anyways. So, before everything changes here, where is... How would I do this? I guess... because it's hard to test. That's the first time I've ever made it there with her dead. I need to add party Emma. So, before I do anything else, we'll add Emma. And, oh no. Maybe I should add it right here. Erase picture. See, I don't even need to erase pictures anymore due to the scripts that I'm using. Erasing pictures was, whenever I had to use another script for my parallaxing, but I use Victor's Fog now. And I might even set up some parallax with you guys tonight, I don't know yet. Let's see, what did I want to do here? That's right, I wanted to heal everybody, recover all, recover the entire party. I hope that fixes everyone there. I'm not going to be able to easily test this out just yet. So hopefully this works. Hopefully this will recover everyone. And then, yeah, hopefully that works. I'm going to have to find a way to test that sometime. Also, actually, hang on. I guess I can make this loop, because it was a little bit wonky screen size. Let's just place this here. I want to check something. I want to see how this looks. Okay, yeah, see, I don't want this screen to really scroll at all, and I'd like it to be centered. So, I'm going to move it down here. Actually, hang on. How is this set up exactly? Guess just down and 2? Meaning that it's like right there. Okay, then you guys can go there. You can go there. Actually, scoot this over just a bit. I just want the camera to be kind of centered so that it doesn't bump into the walls there. And I need to re-change my box here. I had tried to contain the camera here, make it so the player couldn't walk too far and shift the camera with that, but it didn't work. So, what is that, 6 and 7? Okay, 6 and 7. Right here, dang it, I think it's right here. I'm going to have to use my finger on the screen, hang on. Okay, so right here is where I need 2 to go. Doesn't matter if it overruns there. And then right, actually, hang on, I'm gonna give him a little bit more room to walk around here. This isn't really important at all, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, because chances are most people aren't gonna, it doesn't matter, but it matters to me. I want the player to be able to walk behind the characters here. If they decide to go explore, try to walk around this map for some reason. Why they would want to, I don't know. But the scene that this is modeled after in Final Fantasy VI, where everyone splits up, I know I tried to walk around. So, it goes 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, and then right here. Right here, actually. I think that's right. And then right here, so right there is where I want the 2 to go. And I hope that this works. Let's test this. I hope that it looks a little bit decent. Except, of course, my character is still invisible. Let me fix that. And for some reason, oh, that's right, it's because I started up there. Okay, hang on. I may need to change that scrolling too. You see, I don't want this to scroll at all. What? No. Why couldn't I walk any lower than that? I don't have 2s there. Okay, how about I turn looping off? Kind of strange. Yeah, why? I can walk there, there. But for some reason there's... Hang on. It actually... It could be these tiles here. There could be some invisible tiles around here. Okay. Let me just paint this in case there's any invisible crap there. Because I know he's not hitting the barrier there. It's just little things like this that add up. There we go. I still wish it wouldn't scroll up and down, but I'm not gonna worry about it too much right now. I can fix it later. So let's test out Emma and Dennis real quick. I'm trying to think of what I've changed down here. The only thing I've really changed, I did a little bit of work to the heart room there. Oh yeah, and I added a fight down here. That's one of the things I've been doing in these past few days, is going through and adding battles. So, unfortunately, we have Norn and Emma, which I wasn't really counting on, but it's gonna crash here, yeah. I only have that battle set up for one person, so... No, we don't need to test Emma. Yeah, that's the heart room. Let me take a drink and think about what to do. What time is it? 4:10. Probably not going to be recording too much longer. We could set this fight up. Could show you guys how I do that. So, what do we have here? This is the old battle switches that I had whenever I was still doing the side view battle, so I don't need that. Let's delete you, switch this to an action button, switch this to an action button, because I don't need them running as a parallel process. They don't actually have any process to run, but I can delete all of these too. But every parallel process you run has a chance of slowing the game down. There's no way I'm going to slow the game down very much in this room with only a few events, but I don't want them running regardless. So we have these two monsters here. What I'm going to do is first put some music on from Lazy Muffin. Lazy writing. Now I can think. What I've been doing is stealing code. Well, not really stealing code, but stealing events that I've already set up. That way I don't have to continue to reset the events, to retype them and reset them up. Which one do I want to take from, though? Where's my cavern climb? Yeah, I have a few big maps like this. Like, I consider this a large map right here. There's going to be a fight here. You'll enter. There might be a chest in the middle, and if you open it, a flock of gargoyles will fly down off the pillars and attack you. If you step in here, there'll be a chest down here. Stuff will pop up out of these holes and come after you. But what I want to do right now is I don't want to take that. I think that I will take this event, because I already have this set up. This moves some stuff. We're going to edit almost all of it, though. So we'll set it up right here. Oh, let me get comfortable. Now remember, I'm not going to explain everything here. There's a few scripts that I'm using that I guess I'll show you guys. I'm using a lot of stuff from Victor Saint. I think he does a lot of good programming. He can be a bit of a hard ass, but he makes good scripts that I find fairly easy to use, and he updates them fairly regularly too. So I'm using all of these scripts. You can just Google these names or go to Victor's website and look them up. Anything that I've labeled with Victor, he has them all on his website. In fact, you can pretty much search for any of these scripts under materials by name, and you'll be able to find them, hopefully. If your Google Foo isn't up to snuff for finding these, then I'm just going to be an asshole and say you probably shouldn't be messing with scripts anyways. So, I also want to thank Coppern again for his Switch Party script. I haven't had any problems with it at all, and it's made the game possible, because without it, I would be pulling my hair out. So, what we're going to do here is set this up so that when the player bumps into this tile here, the combat will start. The team will actually be pulled into the center here, and the gargoyles will just kind of float there, which means I don't need any move routes for them. In fact, this will be a very easy one to set up. So how I do this is I take the event I've already set up, copy the battle that I've already set up, and let's just paste it right there. In fact, I might have already had that pasted because I just got done building that battle before I started recording. So I can close that out because I don't need it. What I do need is this document. And each of these numbers in the script is important and matters to something. And if you read the map battle script, it will explain how to set all of this up. I'm not going to explain everything to you for the map battle script. Victor Saint has made helpful guides that you can read yourself. So, start right here. I guess we'll be describing some of this, but start. All of these numbers relate to tile positions, basically. So you can see I click on the tile here, and down here it says 1212. So this is tile 1212. This is 2215. This is 616. I want the leader, because that's what this correlates to right here. This is actor, the first person in your party. Or wait, no, actor's right here. This is the first person in your party. The start here is where the battle starts, where the camera starts for the battle. This is where the camera ends for the battle. This is where you escape if you run away. I want the camera to start right here. This is only going to be Emma whenever she does this fight, because Emma is going to be down here alone. So I only have to set this up for one actor, and she's going to stand at 1412. So we'll just change that to 1412. I don't want her to run anywhere after the combat, so that'll be 1412. And if she tries to run away, because let's say the fight's just too hard, they're losing, they don't want to fight, she'll run all the way back there to 2316. And this actor right here, this actor's line, this is actor number 1 in the party, and if you had more actors you would expand this on. I want the first actor, which will be Emma, to stand right where the camera starts. That way the camera is centered on her. You can do more cinematic things if you have like beautiful scenery. You can have the combat taking part in the top left corner of the screen and have a massive waterfall in the bottom right or something. But it's a pretty bleak looking cave, so we'll just center on her, the center of attention. The enemies, let's see. This first number is the event that is going to represent the enemy. So we'll double click on my sprite that I've got here, and you can see its event ID is number 3. Awesome. That's 3, that's 8, and we'll just set those up real quick. So this will be event number 3. Number 8 right here is actually relates to something else. Before I finish setting this up, let me tell you. This is the event ID, like we already explained. This is actually the enemy ID. And the enemy ID is based on the enemy's tab here. You can see the only thing I have set up and that I use in all of my fights right now is the spider, number 8. So once I set up more of those, I'll be using something other than 8, but for now the gargoyles will turn into spiders. So that'll just have to do. And the 63 here, that is the switch that will be turned on after the fight, which means you can turn on a switch and the monsters will die. They will not still be there after the fight. You can make it so that the switch turns on and they never respawn again. But we're going to leave that 63 for now. And this was event number 8, that's right. And we don't have any more monsters here. So I can just delete that line entirely. I don't need to do anything else in here. I believe that this should work. So let's highlight that and copy it. Go back to our event here. Open up the comment and paste it in there. There we go. I don't need any of that. Apparently I canceled it. This should work. 63, 63. Okay. Let's make it so that these monsters disappear when switch 63 is on. Otherwise, they will still be there after combat. So a new page. Make sure that it is in front of number 1. The way the tabs work go in order from right to left. So whatever you have on tab number 2 will always overwrite tab number 1, I believe, as long as the switch is on. I still haven't really figured out the order here for things, but if switch 63 is on, this monster will be gone, because I don't have the graphic enabled right there. So that's all that is doing. It's just saying that graphic is no longer there. The event will still be there, just not the graphic. So we're going to take this, paste it there, paste this one right there. And I can edit this side if I want to, so that if we run away, if we bump into this event and run away, we can run to the nearest entrance instead of running all the way over here. In fact, let me do that right now. Where would she run to here? 517. Escape. 517. There we go. Now we've customized this side, and the combat, if it comes to running away, will at least be that much more personalized. What we're gonna do is just set one person here, because I only have this fight set up for one NPC, and I guess it'll be Norn. If you have, I already showed you the game crashing if you don't have enough actors set up for the fight. So yeah, you can see them there. It's a little bit of a warning. I'll probably have a chest here, or something sparkly, like a little sparkly icon that you can examine. Maybe find a power pill, or a speed pill, or a nano pill. Another Chrono Trigger ripoff there of their tablets. But yeah, you step into the square, they turn into hostiles. I might actually have them swoop down and change position or something. I can make it more fancy later on. Question is, yep, we can attack. Norin gets poisoned. Not good. You're slow, Norin. Also, he can dodge poison, which I don't really understand, but okay. So there we go. Now that's gone. The encounter is over. They will not respawn. Because I do not have their switch set to reset yet. What I will probably do is leave them set to switch 63, but make it so that whenever you leave through the doorway there, the switch gets turned off. And then they would respawn if you left and came back in. No, Norin dies, and game over. Okay, so that is how you set up combat with the map battle by Victor. Again, you can't just download the map battle system. For map battle to work, you also need actors, battlers, and you need animated battle. And if you wanna make the cutscenes like I have them set up, you also have to have followers control and a copper and party switch. So it takes a lot of scripts to get what you want. Let's see, what else can we set up? Yeah, I set up these events. This event, this combat is a little bit custom. If you try to squeeze through this side, you'll get attacked. And the combat will take place here. If you try to squeeze through this side, the combat will take place right here. The only trick to getting through this battle without triggering it is to actually hug the pit. Most people will probably get into combat here on this one. Same way, if you want to avoid combat on this one, because there'll probably be a treasure here, you want to actually walk in front of the monster, because walking behind it alerts it and its two gargoyle buddies. What else do I want to set up? I could explain some things to you guys and spoil some more events while I've still got them in my head. Let's see. What else do I have that I could spoil then? Oh yeah. Let me see. So, this central tower, it is going to be probably, I'm hoping, the midpoint of the game. And let me see, do I even have that? I have a scene somewhere that I'd kind of like to show you guys. I've only spent like 10 minutes slapping a rough draft together. It's not even animated or not, but I think it's going to be awesome. Spoilers. I don't know. Again, most of you watching by now don't really care. But at the top of this tower, you're going to fight Harlan. It's going to be the first time. It's kind of based around the Kefka floating continent fight, I guess. Again, I'm referencing everything that has inspired me game-wise. Everything that because almost everything that I come up with, I can almost relate to or tie to some other form of entertainment that I've enjoyed at some point. But it's going to be a pivotal point in the game. Let's see. In this tower, there's going to be a lot of things that go on. One of the things that's going to happen is you're actually going to bump into Norin's family. And I still haven't decided how Norin is going to handle this yet. But Norin's family is actually going to join Harlan. They're going to take his offer for immortality, which is what Harlan is offering everyone. He's offering them immortality. And they're going to take him up on it. I don't know exactly how I'm going to handle this yet. But you might actually fight them and Norin might make everybody leave. You know, he's going to retreat instead of killing his family. I still haven't decided how I'm going to handle this yet. But at the very top of the tower, floor 66, you're going to bump into Harlan right here. He'll be on the edge. I'll probably have some type of little guardrail here. The head of security will be up here on the edge too. The planet will be hovering in the background like a jewel. Hopefully I'll be able to make it shimmer and animate a little bit. And the party will come through the balcony. There'll be glass windows here that you'll be walking behind. And a battle, I guess, will take place, hopefully, on this little side view thing here. So the team, maybe, I really don't know how I'm going to handle it yet. We'll see. But, like, the team would split out into 3 here, and then they would take turns battling and fighting. And then, what I plan is, after this fight, again, I still haven't figured this out, but after this fight, this guy that you guys haven't even met yet is, going to pretty much handle the situation, I guess, and the entire building is going to blow up. This entire tower is going to come crumbling down in on itself, and will pretty much just be a pile of smoldering rubble, at which point the team will probably either head back to the medical facility or to Garden Park, whenever a giant, massive earthquake is going to happen, and the entire center part of this colony is going to collapse. It's going to collapse down into the caverns here, and this heart room is actually going to morph into a giant portal / castle that is going to slowly rise out of the center of the colony, and will actually, I guess, be hovering over this giant pit in the colony. That's my plans. I still haven't figured out how the hell I'm going to actually do that. But that castle thing that floats out, again, I guess, I'll say that, what inspired me? Probably the Dark Omen from Chrono Trigger. Again, I can tie almost anything I do to some form of entertainment. But that'll rise out. It'll be probably one of the last dungeons in the game. And it should be a little bit of a thrill, I'm hoping. The only part of it I have even remotely designed is trying to figure out what colors I want the place to be right now. It's going to be some dark ancient castle in another dimension. You're going to go through the portal in the heart room in order to get to this place, and you'll come out of the portal here, and it'll be in this little room. And I'll probably have some pretty hard monsters guarding this portal at first, so you'll come through after a hard fight through the caverns, and you'll fight your way into this tower place where you try to shut down the portal and seal it. That way you can get the colony back under control. You'll probably use the medical flyer that I plan to place up here in order to land on that floating castle. And, let's see. At one point I talked about taking this is another big change that I'm going to implement in the story, and I haven't explained it to you guys yet, but I think I'm going to remove the moon here, and, this is more spoilers, and I still don't even know if I'm going to do it yet. One of the things that I've talked about is trying to tie as much mythology and human history into this story as possible. You know, Atlantis, the lost ancient civilization, that's what it was. It was actually a space colony that came to Earth. I think I'm going to have another space colony out here. Instead of having the moon here, I'm going to have just the edge of another colony, because all of the colonies that went to the planets went out in twos. And the other colony is going to be Eden. The space colony Eden. It will actually survive through the game. And what you're going to do at one point is, somehow, I haven't decided yet, maybe with the medical flyer, you're actually going to fly to the other space colony. They're not going to allow you to enter, because they've had problems of their own during the 500-year journey. I guess I'll tell you what I've wrote for their little backstory now. The reason that they don't let you enter the colony is because pretty much like 75 years after the colony is left, in order to, go to Earth while they were still traveling, their cryogenics system completely failed. And that means everybody that was in the cryotubes was awoken. something like 400 years before they were going to arrive at the planet. It was unsalvageable. So, while everyone on Atlantis was able to peacefully sleep for those 500 years to get here, that colony actually was awake. And, you know, they've had 400 years of space travel. They are no longer the same people that left with the Atlanteans. They've turned into their own thing. They do recognize, you know, the Atlantis colonists as family, but at the same time they can't allow the Atlantis people to set foot on the Eden colony. The Eden colony's had its own problems. They've had plagues go through, and if someone from Atlantis was to actually set foot on the Eden colony, they would have a good chance of getting infected, because they wouldn't have a natural immunity, and there's no cure or something like that. But the Eden colony will actually give the player's team a very important item that they're not able to get on Atlantis, which will be the AI reset core. That way they can get the AI back under control, because on Atlantis the AI has locked everything down and there's simply no way to get to it. So Eden will serve a little bit of purpose, but it's mostly there just for a little bit of backstory to kind of tie some more mythology together, and also to set things in play for future ideas and plans that I have. So that's my goal with that. More spoilers, more story, more things to set up. It's gonna, like I said, guys, it's gonna be a year. It's gonna be a year from today. Let's see, what else have I set up? I love this place. It turned out better than I thought. It could still be better. I mean, by no means is this a marvel of mapping skill, but I like how it looks. Let's see, I don't have this event set up. There's going to be a cutscene whenever you enter this room for the first time, because you're going to enter here the first time with Norrin and Jaden. This will be one of the first places that they come after Norrin makes it out of the turbines with Jaden. They're going to come here in order to find more engineers to fix the service lift and make it back down to engineering. And that's something else that I have to set up, but I'm not in the mood to actually design any more maps tonight. I'm not in a map designing phase right now. What else to do? Questions. I think I might actually end this recording. It's almost an hour. Showing you guys a little bit of the game. You can see the changes that are underway. I am going to be again working on it more actively for a while, and hopefully things will slowly again start coming together. There's so much to do here. So much to do. Good Lord.